This video demonstration is brought to you by the Crafts channel in association with Sculpey 3. For more information, visit www.sculpey.com. Hi, my name is Kate Hemmings and I'm pleased to welcome you to a special video project demonstration brought to you by the Crafts channel in association with Sculpey 3. I'm joined by Corinne Bradd, who's going to be showing us how to create some gorgeous cupcake trinket boxes. Hi Corinne.
Hello Kate, yeah.
You know I'm very excited about these because I love
Hemmings,
cake.
I believe, isn't
yes,
it?
That's right. So how do we make these beautiful boxes?
These are very simply made by covering a plain drinking glass or a glass nightlight holder with Sculpey 3. I mean, you can see on the inside that it's just covered. So this one's got a plain covering which we've added stripes to, and then we create the lid entirely from Sculpey 3 so it fits onto it.
Perfect.
So that one. And then the smaller version, which is to say just with a round glass nightlight holder, and we've just applied stripes of Sculpey to this. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Now this is a great project for kids or for beginners because really it uses very basic techniques, just cutting straight lines, layering colours together and using a series of the small cutters that Sculpey have produced. I mean, there's a set of 12 just over there. And they're great little shapes for layering, just to make them look like decorative icing on a cupcake. So we'll start by showing you how to cover the glass.
Okay.
Now, what you'll need to do with your Sculpey is you'll need to condition it first. You can either do this in a clay conditioning machine, which is like a pasta machine, so you roll it through and it gets a progressively thinner and thinner sheet, or you can just warm it up in your hands. It's really, I think, the heat that conditions it. You won't need so much conditioning on a hot summer's day. If you're working in the middle of winter in your kitchen, you'll need a bit more conditioning. But you'll need to do it because if you don't, you might find that as you're rolling it out, it will start to crack on the edges.
Okay.
It's not a great problem, but it does spoil the look of the work. So get it hand heat. I'm just going to make a pink colour from a bright pink. I mean, the colours that they've got here, they do actually do like a nice candy pink colour.
Yeah, I've got the selection here, and
yeah, I think there's about 24 colours, and it is a very good range, but they're all fully intermixable. So what we'll just do, I've got two sausages, one white and one bright pink. If we just roll them together and twist. And it is really very quick. What you can do, as you're doing it, you'll see the colours start to merge.
A marble effect.
It's very difficult to talk and roll at the same time.
Well, the result is looking good.
So you're getting like a stripy marble effect.
It's very pretty like that, actually.
It is very, I mean, to be honest with you, that would be really nice if you were making, with this sort of decoration, where you're adding thin strips, you could roll it out into like a thin candy cane.
And leave it as it is.
And do that, but I'm just going to blend this a little bit more. The other way that you can do it is if you roll and fold and roll and fold.
Okay.
But I find this is much better because you get less air bubbles in this.
Okay. And it will blend completely into a nice smooth colour.
Yeah, it will.
Nice pink. It's very bright.
It is a very bright pink. But that's the great thing, you can have custom colours. So if you're making something for a daughter's bedroom and you've got a specific peacock blue on the wall or something like this.
You can actually colour match it by
blending.
Yeah,
you can. I mean, one of the great things you can do is if you get a selection of colours is you can make your own colour charts up by blending one part of this with one part of that, and then, there's an art to it, but I mean, I tend to find, I think, oh, I'll have that and I'll have that, and mix it together and you come up with a colour that you weren't sure.
Lots of room for experimentation, isn't there?
So now you can see you've got a nice candy pink there. We'll just roll this out. This mat, this is a non-slip silicone mat.
Okay.
But it doesn't move. It's got like a silicone backing on it, which is great because when you're rolling,
keeps it in place.
It keeps it in place. And you can do everything on this. You can bake on this as well. So if you're creating things, rather than picking it up and risk distorting it,
you can actually put that.
You can then actually put that on a baking tray straight in the oven.
Very useful.
This is some white Sculpey that I've already conditioned. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean my hands.
Do you have to do that between colour
changes? Yeah, in all honesty, what I should have done is conditioned and rolled out the white first, because you will find that you'll get colour come off your hands onto white. The Sculpey 3 is actually one of the better ones that doesn't put so much colour on the, although there's a lot of pigment in it, it doesn't transfer to your hands as much. Okay. So we will just roll this. I haven't conditioned this quite so much. So the table's going to wobble a little bit.
It's still rolling out quite quickly though.
I did condition it earlier, and I must admit the heat of the studio lights is keeping it.
Yeah, we have the lights on our side.
Yes. So you've got your two colours. Let's just check that's long enough, yeah. And then if you just take a straight blade, these are nice, with little handles on there. Now if you're doing this with children, the blades are very, very sharp. So do it under supervision. I mean, most children are not going to cut themselves deliberately.
But it is best to supervise.
It is
the
best
clay
to supervise them,
anyway.
because the thing is, there's nothing worse than, you know, ruining a nice piece because you've had to take your child to casualty in the middle of
No,
it.
there is that.
But I mean, as I say, you're the best judge of your own child. Put your hand inside the glass and just lay that strip on there.
And it doesn't matter if it's bigger than the
No,
actual glass?
no, because I'm going to trim that off in a minute.
Okay.
Lay the strips down here like this.
Just push them on.
And just push them on. There is a product called Bacon Bond that also assists sticking of polymer clay to an object. But I find with glass, I mean, it sticks to glass really, really well.
Well, I can see it's...
Don't worry if you've got some little gaps. I mean, you'll notice that there are gaps in between. But in a second, I'm going to just rub
You've got a magic
the
trick.
clay. Yeah, I've always got a magic trick.
Magic crafting
Right,
trick.
if you rub over the top,
And they're merging together.
it just flattens it out enough that it merges together. Gives you a nice sheen on it.
It does actually, nice finish.
And then what you can just do is take the blade and just cut like you would, you know, like if you make a cake.
Yep.
And you cut the rest of the icing off.
You're just snipping that off.
Just cut the icing off like that.
You can smooth off. Easy peasy, look at that.
then
And you
can
would just continue doing that
You
the
just
whole
continue,
way
and so
round.
if you keep your hand in there, you're not going to risk getting thumbprints. If you do get thumbprints,
Just smooth them back
again,
out
just
then.
smooth it back down.
Great.
And the other thing is, normally, not to avoid wasting any clay, I would take these bits and separate them and roll them back up into a bowl to use again. But I'm not at the minute because I'm just going to show you how you make the lid.
Ah, this
If
little
I
lid
move these bits
here.
out of the way. While you make the lid, you can actually bake the glass once you've covered the glass. But bearing in mind that it's glass, put it in a cold oven and let the oven heat up. You need to cook the Sculpey 3 for about half an hour at 130 degrees centigrade. But if you're working in a cold kitchen, you get a cold glass and put it in a hot oven, chances are it might crack, which will ruin your work and all your time. So put it in the oven, let the oven heat up, cook it, let the oven cool down, and then take it out.
Okay.
To make the lid,
Okay,
you
this
will
looks
need.
very intricate, the lid.
No, this is why it's a great project actually for children, because it is simply a matter of cutting and layering shapes.
Wow, okay.
So you'll make your lid from a disc of this, and the way you make the lid to start with is you roll out your base colour clay, and then you take your glass, pop it in the top there, press it down, but don't press it right down to the surface. You don't want to cut it. You don't want to cut the circle.
Okay.
You just want to cut around the outside of the glass with a craft knife. Yeah. Don't cut through the cutting mat, although I think that'd be quite difficult to cut through that cutting mat. And then carefully remove the glass
Oh,
and
I see.
bake that as it is, because you've got a ridge around there which will help it sit into the top of the glass. Now, as this is a professional demonstration, here is one I've baked earlier.
Just like
Okay.
Peter.
And it fits on the top
Just like that.
without moving. So you need to put that ridge side down and then take some clay. And then let's have a heart cutter. These great
Very
little cutters.
cute.
Cut yourself out some hearts. Now I'm not going to have time to do the whole of this lid,
Just give an idea.
but I'm just going to give you a rough idea of how you build the layers up. Ooh. Okay, and you want to overlap these slightly.
As you create like a rim around the edge.
Yeah. You may say there's a product called Bacon Bond, which helps the Sculpey 3 bond. So you may find that if these aren't sticking, to use the Bacon Bond, because this is already partly baked. Now that's what I was going to say, don't bake this completely. You just need to bake this for about a quarter of an hour to get it hard enough so it won't distort while you're adding. Okay, so imagine you have a ring of hearts around here, yeah? Because you want the top of the cake to sort of build up a bit, if you then, here we go. If you then use a circle cutter.
Is this for your next row?
This is for the next row, but what you want to do is you want to build up a bit of height in it. So, yeah, that'll be about right. Place your disc in the middle.
Yep.
Put it down, and then take, let's use the yellow that I've, oh, that was my lid. Not now.
Waste not, want not.
Okay, and then we'll just cut a couple of flowers out and lay
just
these like
overlay
this.
them just like that.
And just keep laying it on like this. And the other thing, if you want to add centres to your flowers, these little tools that Sculpey do are great because they're little concave bases, and you can just put it in there to
And
get a
you've
little
got
dot of clay,
centre.
and then you can just push it in the centre of your flower. It's perfect. So carry on building it up, make a little handle for the top of it, and then bake that for the full amount of time in the oven. And there's
There you
your
go.
trinket boxes.
As always, thank you very much, Corinne. That's all we've got time for here today, but do stop by www.sculpey.com for more information and project ideas. See you next time.